showed no emotion as he was charged with 4 counts of aggravated murder.
Communities across America deal with gang violence and youth crime every day. To many, this violence is considered an urban problem. Its causes rooted in the poverty and decay found throughout inner city neighborhoods.
We're getting shot at Westside Middle School.
Okay, all right.
We need an ambulance as soon as possible.
Okay, hold on just a second, ma'am.
Yet instances of suburban youth violence increasingly make headlines. The affluence and privilege found in these middle-class communities aren't stemming this tide. So there must be underlying causes that are common to both urban and suburban youth violence. Are these stories really pages out of the same book?
The graffiti tells the story of a war among children, a war in which the latest victim was 12 years old.
In January 1997, our nation's capital was shocked by the violent shooting death of a 12-year-old boy in the Benning Terrace public housing complex. Simple City, as residents called it, was a neighborhood under siege. More than 60 people had been murdered in less than 2 years. The warring Circle and Avenue youth factions ruled the community.
As you can say, because y'all seen it, which I all considered the worst of your public housing projects, and then amplify about 10 times. Because with y'all public housing sectors or wherever, in y'all cities, you had the presence of the police, and with us, we didn't. We were the police, the judge, we did it all.
A group of committed men who themselves had grown up on the tough streets of Washington felt compelled to do something. With the help of the National Center for Neighborhood Enterprise, members of the Alliance of Concerned Men were linked to counterparts who had worked with gangs in other parts of the country in an effort to buttress their knowledge of peace negotiating. The seeds of an initiative, now known as violence-free zones, were being planted.
The roots of NC&E's violence-free zone experience dates back to 1969 to the city of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. With there, a woman by the name of Sister Falaka Fatah and her husband David established a House of Umoja, and it was a safe haven for gang members. In 1974, they negotiated the first citywide gang truce that brought about a dramatic reduction in violence in that city. What I did was import that solution to Washington, D.C.
Members of the Alliance of Concerned Men went into the war zone that was Benning Terrace, sought out leaders of the disputing youth factions, won their confidence, and brought them to NCNE to negotiate an end to the violence. A prayer and hug within a circle began and ended each meeting. Eventually, the warring youths pledged peace, making headlines across the nation.
In Simple City, the graffiti was coming down today. Doing the work and being paid by the housing authority to do it are members of 2 formerly feuding factions, one from a place called the Circle, the others from the Avenue.
The success in Benning Terrace involved many people, the young people who took the difficult step of changing their lives. They came together to form the Concerned Brothers and Sisters of Benning Terrace and perform services for their community. The courageous Grassroots Alliance of Concerned Men acted as fathers to the youths and taught them life skills. The National Center for Neighborhood Enterprise provided strategies, technical assistance, and linkages to sources of support. And an enlightened government official, DC Housing Receiver David Gilmore, provided job training, employment, and other resources.
And I did say to him, Bob, you know, I saw the photograph in the paper. I want to be a part of this. So you've got to come tell me what we can do.
Now former rival youth gang members, who only months earlier were shooting at each other, worked side by side at their own insistence.
The Center for Neighborhood Enterprise's Violence-Free Zone initiative is reducing violence, disruptions, and suspensions in public schools across the country.
I remember my first day at school. We had a shootout in broad daylight at the first day of school. So this the culture and the climate that Madison had. It was just straight chaos. I'm talking about fighting every day. Someone gets stabbed, someone gets shot. This was Madison.
In the school, I think they were at wit's end saying, we need something, because the teachers are now being social counselors. They've been social as opposed to being educators. They cannot educate because they have to deal with the community issues. And the school police were basically agents to stop violence. They could not get into the social element because there's too many. So it was a niche that I thought that we could fill.
In my years here, we've had shootings out front. We've had, kids shot. We've had fights. We've had almost riots from situations that were going on with sometimes our students and people in the community who are not our students, or people driving around in cars. It's the conflicts in the hallway and the tension in the school is what kills your learning. I mean, that's the bullseye of what they're addressing here. So for me, it was a no-brainer.
CNE's partner organizations screen, train, and employ young adults from the affected neighborhoods to work in the schools and communities. Called youth advisors, they act as monitors, mediators, character coaches, and they are role models that prove that no matter what your environment, you can succeed.
Our youth advisor, really, to me, they're kind of like us. They know, they been through the stuff, sort of stuff we've been through, and at heart, that means something else. They're like our friends, really, because they see something in us that we usually don't see, and then they bring it out so we can see, and it makes you feel good inside.
He helped me with the temper. My tempers, I had a real bad one. If anybody said anything, anything to me, I was really ready to fight. But the Runner Rebels set me down and showed me a better way, other than that. And I'm pretty sure every young man in here can say it's helping. The Runner Rebels was here to make us a better man, to make us better man, and it's helping us a lot.
I could come talk to them, and I don't have to be scared to do anything. I don't have to, bring my anger out and show my anger. I could come and talk to and work my problems out.
I think this program has helped us in a number of ways to increase the overall effectiveness of this campus. Right off the top, I can see that there has been a reduction in the number of negative interactions between children. The number of fights have dropped off. The number of neighborhood, territorial, or gang-related fights have dropped significantly since 3 years ago.
The area around the school where you'd normally have drive-by shootings, you have people getting into a fight, you didn't have that anymore.
See, 9 times out of 10, a lot of problems don't come to me because there's that buffer there where the kids can go talk, the kids can work with them and work through whatever problems they have.
And I came up with a 4.0, doing my work every day, going to class, staying on task. And I came up with the 4.0.
I think there's enough hard evidence here. From what I've seen so far, not only is the program helping the children behaviorally in terms of fewer incidences of violence, fewer suspensions, more good citizenship marks, but it's also beginning to affect the grades, even though that's not actually how the program was constructed, nor was that what they expected to do. Every time I look around, there's a child that has benefited academically from the program. The implications, I think, are huge for the way we approach really working with young people in troubled urban environments.
When I was in 6th grade, I used to get in a lot of trouble. I got suspended mostly every day. And when I got in 7th grade, when Mr. Jackson started talking to me, it changed. Now that I'm in 8th grade, I changed more. Now I'm a grown woman.
I think that if you're looking for things that make significant change, and as superintendents, you look for what are the things that give you significant impact, not little impact, not incremental impact, not continuous improvement, but significant change. This is a program that'll bring about significant change in the culture of a school and community.